Hello, everyone. We are live with another session in which we are going to learn some very cool stuff about how to build on Flare in the age of AI and in the age of agents in particular. I'm here today with Kristaps, who is DevRel at Flare, and today we really want to walk you through the basics, meaning how can we set up everything that we need in order to start building on Flare, but having in mind that you want to utilize, the modern tools for basically the same things that Vive coders are utilizing, right? So Cursor, Cloud Code, skills, you name it. So first of all, let me catch up with Kristaps. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm actually excited to share this as well. And yeah, this will be kind of like vibe coding session, but we will share actually many interesting things that you can elevate your development and also learning about Flare because we don't have only for like coding, have also exploration. And we will try to go into deeper explaining how you can improve because when I started with these AI tools, it was quite hilarious what it got about Flare, and it still does actually many of those models. But yeah, this is like first session. I think AI is here to stay, and if you can utilize these technologies on like on your behalf, then it's great. I think. And if you have any questions or topics, feel free to message us now or afterwards using our Twitter handles, And because this tool that we are showing today, it's just fresh actually. It has been around. We launched maybe, I know, Victor, like 2 weeks ago or something, like very, very new thing. So there might be shortcomings, and to be honest, I was fixing some problems just like 1 hour ago.
Oh, yeah, this is normal. And I mean, no worries. Today's like a relaxed session. Um, the point is that we have a lot of people that have never coded in their life and they're just getting started, right? And today I was exploring some basic setups because, like yourself, I already have everything set up for development, right? So that anything related to installing some packages, getting some credits with Cursor or whatever tool you're using, I'm all set. But you kind of forget that at some point that can become a pain if you don't do it properly. So we probably are gonna get started uh, by that. And the idea is that today anyone can actually build applications on blockchain and on Flare, of course. Uh, but you need to provide the right context, right? And this is the main goal of today's session is how you can get started, how to get the right context, and how to work with the best tools that are available so that you can move faster and you can move in a safe way as well, right? There are, some things that can be tricky from time to time. So in today's session, we expect to cover all of that, at least at a high level, or at least for people that are getting started. In the future, if we see that more people are interested on this type of sessions, we will probably host some other ones in the near future. But for today, I know that we have people watching us on X, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn as usual. So if you have any questions, I'm gonna be checking the comments section on each one of these platforms and making sure you get the answers that you need so that you can get started building. Or if you're already building on Flare, how can you make things more efficient, faster, and reliable? So, Kristaps, perhaps we are in a good position to start sharing the screen to see the main GitHub repo or whatever we have prepared for this session.
Yeah. So the main kind of the uh, framework, or how we call it, the Flare AI skills we have under our Flare Foundation. GitHub repository under Flare Foundation, Flare AI Skills. But don't worry, we will post all the links, and it has been flying around or Twitter as well, so you will catch it later. You don't need to memorize this link. So there we have a set of materials for your AI agents to read, or what we have at Flare much better. Like, of course, we have the or Dev Hub, and to be honest, it's already quite good for LLM models because we have some helper files already. So if you are using, let's say, ChatGPT or something like that, you go to maybe some website, you can actually open here as well, open in Claude or ChatGPT, and it's point this URL, and it does already quite decent job because we have kind of the basis set. But AI skills, it's kind of like more guidance, because sometimes when you use these tools, they don't know what to do exactly, or sometimes they don't go to DevHub and go like maybe don't click 3 times, and they are lost. Then they start to hallucinate. That's kind of the term is being used in AI field. It starts to come up with solutions because it can maybe it doesn't fail. It doesn't want to fail something. Like I have seen that it populates some random data, something like that, and then it's like it's not even basically it doesn't stop. It's even doing wrongly. And in that sense, we created AI skills for these reasons, and it covers main, or I would say all questions that you would ask. So for instance, we have Flare general skill. So it has about what kind of protocols we have, what are the networks, blockchain IDs, RPC endpoints, explorers, all those kind of questions that are not related to specific protocols or products that we have. And then we have per each product or protocol, how you can call it. So for oracles, Flare time series oracle, that you can get price feeds that we'll look actually today a bit further. Then about F assets, so wrapping XRP, getting FXRP, all the how to mint, how to redeem, what is collateral, all those kind of things. And Flare data connector, so attest something on chain, or right now also we have Web2 API, these kind of questions. And actually, very recent thing in our products, we have smart contracts. So basically, that you can execute something from XRP holding just XRP, and Flare will be the execution layer for XRP. So that is quite interesting technology. We will not look into smart accounts because we have been hosting multiple other workshops about it, so we'll not focus on that, otherwise we will run out of time. And here's more description in the repository. But then the first question is how to install these skills.
Yeah, I think that we need to take a step back and say, okay, this is already a lot to process if you're new, right? If you just want to
Yeah.
get started building on Flare. So I guess that the first step would be get everything ready in terms of the setup with Cloud Code or whatever tool you're going to show us. And then we would move forward with this, right?
Yeah, today I will use Codex, which is basically a tool from OpenAI, which is behind ChatGPT. There is no particular reason I'm using this. Just it looks nice. It has a native application. How to say, less scary as as it could be like terminal tool as well. But using these skills you can use with the cloud code. You can use like open code. I have seen this tool is quite booming as well. You can use in Cursor, and there are many ways. And if you use this skills is basically a website which aggregates many skills, not like all. It's built by Vercel, which is behind Next.js, so it's quite notable company in the field. So it's I assume they know what they are doing, and this is this is just way how you can pretty much take these files from this repository. And by files, I mean if you go into skills folder, let's say open Flare general skill, and that is markdown, pretty much text file that describes what kind of Flare does. It's not nothing. It's no like rocket science, to be honest. But the thing is that it gives more precise information for those AI agents to understand the context. Otherwise, without this, it would couldn't figure out how to start, what kind of how developers could quick start. For instance, here's information how to configure your tools and so forth. What's like consensus mechanism for Flare and so forth. Otherwise, it tries to search something on the web, and not always either it wouldn't reach the right answer, or it could reach maybe some website which is not legitimate, or maybe so it can be a bit wrong information. So that's what it is here. So there is no other things, to be honest. It's more like if you want, you can actually read this. It's kind of human English language. So I don't. I'm telling that because it shouldn't be scary for people. Otherwise, it might be like what it's doing or something. So basically, skills, I would say, it's kind of recipe for those AI models. An AI model is kind of brain. So you give recipe for the brain, and then brain knows what to do. That's how I would describe these skills. Maybe you have seen around and you are wondering what they are. And yeah, like there are many ways how to, not like many, but like a couple of ways how to install. I would go very personally using skills sh. That is a simple tool that you can use to install any of these skills, and also Flare skills. And it
So
copies
okay, here
these. Sorry?
I have to ask a few questions, Christoph. So
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah,
new developer. I have, I don't know, VS Code installed on my Windows machine, or Linux machine, or whatever. Then is this the starting point? Like I should go to this skills site and run this command, or what exactly?
We have here procedures how you can install, but to be honest, any of these cloud code, codecs, and so forth, if you point, please install this skill, they will figure out for that for you.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
cursor. So this is just a more technical text here, but you can ask, hey, cursor, and cursor, install this skill, and then it will figure out all these skills. So yeah, right now it's not like a so painful process anymore, to be honest.
Okay, I can imagine that.
Yeah,
It's just that these things are moving so fast that, it's even hard to decide where to get started, because and
yeah,
actually all of the alternatives that they have now are like kind of easy setups, right? Because you can just ask the agent on any
yeah,
terminal and it's gonna work.
yeah. I would do that, or if you want from UI, you can go to cursor settings. Don't mix it up with the editor setting itself. And then under here you see rules, skills, sub-agents, and then you can add new rule and add from GitHub. But that, to be honest, I think it's a bit more complicated. Like here you see I have actually already these skills installed for Flare. So I would just ask here in the chat. Obviously, I have already installed, so it won't let me install again. But I can ask here like, please install. Oops. Like this, and it will figure out. I mean, we can try to run it. Let's see if it what it gives to me. And it already look, it already tries to fire up these commands and wants to install these skills. So I would ask any of these prompting solutions to do it for me. That's the easiest answer. But we are giving the recipe, so you could answer this. AI model could answer how to do it. And
Interesting.
yeah, so it seems that it's actually
So
already
what
tries to install. Look,
this is amazing. So wait a minute.
already.
Here you just open up cursor and ask to install it without having more context or project setup or anything, and that's it.
Yeah, because it installs globally for your computer. It doesn't
Uh-huh.
kind of install that there. So yeah.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of the short description about skills. If you have questions, then ask. But yeah, my personal approach would be, because I kind of want to control a bit more using this skills command line tool. But also we have explained how you can use cloud code. You can use marketplace approach. So that's kind of plugs in these skills in your cloud code. But with the caveat, like, so it only installs for cloud code. If you're using this skills tool approach, it will pretty much install for all the AI models what you have or you would like to use. So that's kind of a bit more safer approach, and installs globally. So yeah, I mean, I think that and if you struggle with something, then let us know. We will try to help you to get you started.
Yeah, one thing that people can do right now is just follow along what we are doing, right? Like it's fairly
Yeah,
simple to just download cursor and type what you just
yeah,
typed, right? And if you have questions, we will of course answer. So
yeah.
okay, is this everything we need to cover for project setup and in terms of like what we need to have installed on our machines and all of that?
Uh, yeah. Only kind of if you kind of start prompting and you see that it doesn't give you a precise answer, you can specifically tell, please use kind of this skill, and it will give a bit better answer. I don't know. Let's go to cursor. Uh, I will ask explaining about all Flare networks, for instance. Like the most basic thing, like you come to Flare, like what are the networks, what's mainnet, what are all these names? Maybe they don't make sense. and it gave me quite nice answer, and we know that it
We
was
know this.
using Flare general skill to explain about that. So here you can see.
Yeah, this is important to clarify because I remember seeing people during hackathons asking the same type of questions to ChatGPT randomly, and of course, it's not going
Yeah,
to give you good answers. So this is the
yeah,
right way to do it.
yeah, and obviously you can go to our dev hub, but using the it kind of shines a bit later. So maybe you want to deploy on testnet, and then there you need to remember what are the IDs, what are the RPC URLs, where to get test tokens, all that stuff, and it has all the knowledge here. Like I said, it's a recipe for brains, so it's uh, just speeds up your development. And yeah, and maybe we can start, cook something up. And I propose that we make something very very simple, like using Flare time series Oracle. It has price feeds, and let's create simple web application that queries price for Bitcoin, for Flare, and for Ethereum. So I propose that we ask to do it, and let's see how it tries to do it. This
Yes,
AI
let's do it
agent.
because to be fair, this is super straightforward and simple so far. So if you're getting started to vibe coding even, and this is a way in which you can do it in a few minutes. So what we're gonna do now is try to, I guess, create our first application now that we have the right context, right?
Yeah, and I will use White web application framework. If you are not familiar with that, it's, in my opinion, it's one of the uh, easiest to reason about. I don't want to use some heavy frameworks like Next.js or something like that in this example at least. So I will ask to create a White web application that queries ETH, BTC, and Flare price, and I will tell using Flare AI skills, just so it knows the context. So, and quite recently, I actually saw that if you give very kind of bad prompts to these AI agents, they will do poorly. Like it's you need to treat that you give a task to someone, like a coworker, or you want to write down for you in 1 month. If you cannot describe it properly, then you will get quite bad outcome as well. And more you describe, more descriptive you are, the better it is. I know nowadays you want to write maybe 3 words and you will get working application. That's not usually the case, at least in more, more harder, harder cases. So let's see what it will try to do. And I specifically use this for this workshop codex because it kind of shows a bit better what it kind of uses. So and it explains the thought process as well, so it's a bit easier to explain during workshop. And here we see that it will try to create White application, which is a front-end framework, and it will use Flare skills guidance and likely Flare FTSO plus Flare general if needed. So we can already understand, okay, it get the guidance from the skills, so that's very good. And then in those skills we already have how you should if you code without these agents, how you would do it as well. And these agents, they just read faster, and it will understand how to get Flare time series oracles contract, how you can get the price. I will not go into like Flare time series oracle how it works, because we have other materials, but it got it right how to, and it gets it from contract registry. Basically, that's the contract where we have on all networks where to get contract address, and how it should be actually in the right place. And yeah, and now it's using Flare FTSO AI skill. So, and there, it saw that there is an example script, and tries to create the minimal white plus TypeScript application in this workspace. And yeah, it gave us information how what it is doing. So that's why I like this codex, at least in the beginning, because it explains the plan, and it's a nice UI application so you can follow along. Otherwise, it does behind the scenes, and you won't know what it does. So it explains that it will get from contract registry, FTSO version 2 contract, how it should be, and get feeds by ID. And yeah, so it generated something. So let's see. So it started in background terminal with npm install, worked for 2 minutes, and so on. It hopefully installed everything, and it spit out a couple of files, and we can and yeah, it gave information that it cannot run npm install because most likely I have disabled this feature, so it doesn't mess around too much that I don't control. But don't worry, it gave information, we can do it ourselves. And I have it open here, so we can see the package file, what kind of dependencies it uses. But I already see that I think something it didn't get quite right, because it's using VM, but we have actually one package which we have WAGMI types. WAGMI is a framework which is much easier to work with front-end applications, but we will explore what it.
Here I
Sorry.
want to ask a few questions because, if you're a vibe coder just getting started, you're probably not gonna know that, right? Like, what would be the procedure then, or the way to go about verification to make sure that everything is correct if I don't have too much context about Flare, and I'm not a developer or experienced software engineer?
Uh, One answer would be always to have some slight understanding about Flare as well, because AI models can do as decent job as they can, and that's it. For instance, here it uses mainnet, and we will switch to testnet. For instance, I mean it's okay because you are creating kind of real application, but yeah, these questions you need to be a bit more familiar. But like before, we asked like about all the networks, and we have kind of this knowledge base just at our fingertips. For instance, testnet, which is called custom 2, we will switch to that. So that would be my answer. Ask these agents like many even dumb questions, because thing is that they will not be tired. They won't be tired. They will answer all these questions, and more context you ask, actually, better the outcome is. That would be my answer. And of course, don't be scared to experiment, like always.
Perfect. Well, then I guess let's move forward.
Yeah, so like I'm exploring the code. I mean, generally, because I know how it should be, it should work kind of fine. But what I see is that uh, let's switch to testing because I don't want to run anything on production or deploy. It will be faster and easier for this workshop at least. So I will tell. I will tell to switch to custom to testnet. So let's see if it tries to, if it understands what I want from them. And immediately, yeah, as it has guidance about all the networks, you don't need to pretty much go and copy paste RPC URLs and deal with that. It knows all the chain IDs, and yeah, I think that is great because you with these skills, because you always have up to date and precise information about Flare. So let's see if we can run this application. It gave information that we need to run npm install and npm run dev. So I will copy these commands. I'm already here in this folder, so I don't need to go to that specific folder. Let's see if it can install everything. I'll make a bit. Okay, it seems that it installed all the packages, and let's run this application and let's see. So let's see what it tells us to go to this URL. So let's copy paste it here, and
Oh, that's
I
something.
think yeah, that's something. So we have prices are read from custom to testnet using contracts registry, and then FTSO version 2. And for instance, we don't, using your previous question, Victor, like what is contract registry? Like, I have no clue what the hell is it. Let's try to ask here, what is? So it tries to understand. Nice, it gave information that it's Flare's way to resolve protocol contract addresses at runtime. So never hard code contract addresses. You know how to do it on chain in Solidity, and you know why to use it. What's the address on Flare networks, and so forth. So I think it's. Of course, you can go to DevHub, but that's much faster. And it gave information, like for instance, some helpers that you can use in the from this contract registry, get FTSO version 2, what we need, how to use it off-chain in TypeScript, what we are using here. So yeah, that's something. For instance, if you don't know what is it, and maybe you can ask like explain about FTSO version 2. And you always can see that it read from the skill, so it already knows the context. And it gave us information what is FTSO. So that is Flare time series Oracle. It's fast, you know, updates every block. You can scale it up and so forth. So how to get a feed. So obviously I will not go over all of these, and it gave us information about feed indexes that we need to use. And we can see here for ETH, we are using the right one and so forth. So to be honest, I think it gave pretty decent job already. And we can press refresh. and updated the timestamp. And yeah, so that's the kind of the most simplest outcome I can come up to. But as always, there's but we can do better. So for instance, we can add XRP here as well. So what do you think, Victor, about that? Let's do that.
Yeah, I think we can do that. But perhaps at this point, we want to summarize what we have done so far, like from the beginning to implementation. Because, if I'm a Vive coder and I'm just tuning in right now, which, by the way, we have quite a few people coming from other platforms right now, probably I will be, oh, okay, how can I reproduce this, right? So, and I already know that you found a minor issue in the prompting, so perhaps it's worth
Yeah.
summarizing.
So yeah, where it all starts, that is Flare AI skills. Search through our GitHub, or we will post the link for this repository. There's information how to install. You can install in all the agents like Cursor, Cloud Code, Codex, and so forth. And after you do that, it gives you more precise information. And by precise information, what I mean, you can ask questions. So you just want to learn. It can generate code because in this repository, for instance, if you go to just an example, in fassets skill, there you can see there are actually scripts. How can we list agents, for instance? There's script, and I will not go over this, but there are how this is kind of how you would do in real life, not like in real life, but like if you would do yourself, and the agent just reads it and reproduces and finds best solution. So that would be my answer, how to get started. But at first I would even use the Flare general skill to even learn about Flare, what it is, what are the networks, and so forth. That it just helps down the line to give better to write better prompts and ask the AI agent to build more precisely.
Perfect. I think this is a good segue to continue.
Yeah. So for instance, we have Ethereum, Bitcoin, Flare price. So Ethereum right now is roughly about over 2K just reached, and so forth. So let's ask to add XRP price. So it again uses Flare time series Oracle skill. So it already knows the context. So otherwise it would hallucinate and maybe come up with some weird outcomes. Like half a year ago, it was much different, like different story, how it was working. And to be honest, these skills, I think, are kind of very good feature to give these brains more precise information. And let's see. Yeah, it added XRP. So now we have XRP. So it's like 1.4 USD. And yeah, it's already quite nice looking application that we could, deploy. Of course, you can ask these prompts to change colors, all that, but this is not the topic of this workshop, to improve it. But what I found is that it, from the code, is that it uses inline ABI. And if you don't know what is ABI, that is instruction how you can interact with chain, with smart contracts, basically with blockchain. And to be honest, we don't want that, because if something changes here, it's highly unlikely in this case at least. But if something changes, if we build application with smart contracts and so on, it will break. And the best way is to use one of the Flare packages that distributes ABIs for you. And here is good chance to learn about that. Explain about Flare. To learn about Flare packages, what that distributes ABIs. So it tries to think something. We can see that it already fetched some packages. Okay, nice. So let's see what it will explain to us. And we can see already that it read the Flare for React guide. So that kind of sounds good, right? Because we're building for front end. And let's see what it tries to come up. And there are like 3 main npm packages on our disposal. So you can use this package, ABI artifacts, typed ABIs for React WAGMI. So this sounds a bit better because it uses TypeScript, not kind of JSON files, because then we need to parse ourselves. And then periphery contracts, and those are Solidity interfaces, comes from compilation. So that doesn't sound the right what we need to use. So, or we can ask like, what is best?
Wait, but here I want to double check with you. Is are okay, this is taking supposedly information that we put from the skills, right?
Yeah. So we can
And
see that it read previous question from the skills, and for instance, right now I was confused like what to use for front end.
okay,
And I asked, and it gave me information that for front end is this WAGMI periphery packages. It uses React WAGMI VM, and you get typed ABIs. So pretty much this one will be hidden away, and I don't need to worry about that. And yeah, it gave quick setup, but obviously I don't want to do it myself. I want that it does it for me. So I will go back to Codex because I have in one place all the development information basically. So uh, use, I will copy this one. And it'll immediately understood what I want to do. Right now, it tries to search the web because I explained what package to use. So maybe that's not the best. So you should be careful when it tries to search the web. But I think in this case, it's fine because we were using a skill to recommend us what to do. And let's see what it will do. Yeah, it runs the command. It checks the package content. You want to fetch? Yes, I want to fetch the metadata.
but Kristaps, what I wanted to clarify is, can we now claim that with the right context from the AI skills, it's going to give you all the proper results we would expect, or we need to ask to double check, or we need to do that on our end?
Uh, My recommendation is kind of always double check in the end if when you are releasing something, when you are testing out and experimenting, then of course it's fine. But these skills actually help us to do it because we can ask endless questions, and these questions we can ask any time of the day, as many times we want. So that would be my answer to always familiarize what you are building, because blindly doing something I wouldn't recommend anyone to do, but experiment and learn. This is like perfect tool, and once you know what you want to achieve and you can precisely write these prompts or asks to these agents, they will do very good job. That would be kind of as
Okay.
you saw, it kind of got almost everything. But for instance, building front-end application, it wasn't using this package, which wasn't the best. I was hoping, at least.
Okay, then let me rephrase the question, but now for people that are completely new and vibe coders, so they probably don't know much about Flare, and it's gonna take a while until they grasp the basics. So what
Yeah.
should they do in this particular type of situation?
Uh, what do you mean? Can you come again?
Yeah, because you said, okay, for the front end, it didn't pick up what it should have, right?
I mean, it didn't pick up, in my opinion, the how to say the best outcome. But
Okay,
obviously, the stuff was working. You saw the
yes.
prices, and it was, I would say more than 90%. It was fine. And of course, if something breaks, you can always come back and use these skills and ask again. Help me
Yeah, this
explain
is
this error. What's why this one is not working? So. That's what I meant, that it's not kind of not correct, but maybe not the best outcome because I'm familiar with the technology.
okay. So I think this is helpful because I don't want people to take from this that if you're a newbie, you just cannot build on Flare. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
successful with the prompting and the basic usage that we already show, right? So what we are doing is trying to refine this, find a better angle. But this is only because you are a more experienced developer and want things a certain way, right?
yeah. That's correct. And like, okay, it tries to install something, but it was, uh, as we can see, it's doing behind the scenes, and it was working. You saw the prices, and it gave all the necessary questions. So that's like, don't worry if you don't get it right. Like, I'm learning like new technology kind of every day, and obviously I don't know it, the best, but that's the thing. These tools I encourage to use because you can ask like tirelessly. Like these agents, they are not tired like like humans sometimes. Not sometimes, but usually. So yeah. And while I was talking, it implemented this package, and let's see if it. Yeah, we can see that it's still everything still works. And if we go to code, yeah, we can see that it uses the package that we wanted. It gets the ABI. All right, ABI. We don't have that ABI in the code, so we were not touching the code, but I can verify that this is like good job basically. So yeah, and I think we did quite good job. So it shows us prices in real time, pretty much, using Flare AI skills. So
Amazing. This is a
yeah,
great result. Thank you so much, Kristaps. I'm wondering now about newer things that we are implementing, such as Flirt Smart Accounts. So my question would be, what would be your recommendation when it comes to Flare smart accounts and building with this type of tools? And what has been your experience? Perhaps you can share something along those lines.
Um, yeah. Uh, to be honest, I would recommend uh, everyone who is interested to read a bit more about Flare smart accounts. It's not like long read. Uh, don't be scared. What it is, what it does, but essentially you can from XRP, which is another chain, you can control using XRP assets. You can control something what is on other chains. In this case, Flare. And we will start this technology that you can deposit to vaults to so your assets can grow. But also in the future, we have information here, but we will release custom instructions. So basically, you can encode any function that you want from XRP side. So basically, combining these blockchains together in pretty much in one. And as developer, that opens huge doors because XRP is one of the biggest asset classes, and you can tap into this huge market. And using Flare as execution layer, because to be honest, XRP lacks that. Like it doesn't have programmability, and yeah, I would start to explore either or DevHub or ask questions to Flare Smart Account Skill, what it is, what I can do with it, because it will link together these points with other Flare technologies. Because Flare Data Connector, which we also have skill, and you can learn about it, how it works. I will not go into details that much right now, but those would be my starting points. And but yeah, so that's kind of the quick answer, and I can go into deeper that there are kind of two parts: what you can do from XRP side, what you can observe on Flare side, but that will be a bit more complicated already. So, but yeah, my quick answer is to go either DevHub or ask questions to the skill, what it is, what I can do with it, explain me. And you can ask even questions like, explain me like I'm 8. Like it won't get offended. Like these agents, they don't have emotions in that sense. So yeah.
Okay, sounds amazing. It seems that we are on time to wrap it up and get to some of the questions that we might have. So I'm checking right now the social channels, what we have. I know nothing about Flare. Okay. Yeah. What is the recommendation there? I can tell you that Flare is a Nel one EVM blockchain that has enshrined oracles.
Or Victor, we can use, I will share again, let's use skill to ask that.
Okay, that's actually a great way to
Let's
answer.
explain me what is Flare. Uh, just simple thing, simple question. Look, exactly what you told. So it has all the information, and it got from Flare general skill. So if you want more precise information, you can tell, hey, use Flare general skill. But obviously here it got this information from here. So maybe this is too complicated. Explain me like. Look, it gave even more simpler explanation. Of course, I'm like kind of joking around, but you can ask these questions, and if you don't get it, ask even 10 or 20 times, and it will explain you from different angles. So yeah, I think here also again these skills did a pretty good job.
So yes. So I'm checking. I don't think we have more questions coming from our audience. I do want to show one that it seems a little bit confusing to me, which is, do you expect wallets to include Flare network soon? Do you Some do not want to use the ledger. Trezor make it hard to attack through Rabbit. I think we should clarify a few things, right? So first of all, as an EVM blockchain, you can utilize any regular wallet that you would use for Ethereum, and it will work, right? It's gonna be fine. You can add it to your MetaMask pretty easily. You can go to the website on Chainlist, and it's gonna work. You can utilize Ravi, as you mentioned, it's going to be fine, and you can also utilize a hardware wallet. So I don't know, Christoph, do you have anything to add to this answer, or is that complete?
I would just ask that you can ask even this question to the AI skill because it knows information what you need to provide to your wallet, how to configure the wallet that it kind of has is friend with the Flare chain. So of course you can go to chain list. That's kind of the most obvious question, but even for complete beginners, it's completely normal question to ask there as well.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, it seems that we are on time to wrap it up. It was a very productive session. What we did is we actually vibe coded our first app on Flare in just a few prompts, and we learned some of the best practices. We learned what is the basic setup and how to do this very effective, productive, I would say, and fast. Like it's very surprising, right? Because the developer experience right now is like reduced to just a few prompts.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of the takeaway from this session. And I would encourage everyone to experiment. Don't ask, change this, change that, explain me that, because it has all the knowledge already. It's kind of need to utilize these things. And to be honest, you can learn a lot by doing that, even sometimes more than reading guides. To be honest, so
Yeah.
if it's your choice how to learn, then yeah, and give us feedback if you have any. We're always here to help, always here to improve, and yeah, thank you for joining.
Thank you guys for joining. Stay tuned. Today we will have some very good news for those who have been waiting. Flare Smart accounts, I think. I cannot elaborate any further, but it's going to be an exciting day. And of course, make sure to follow us on social media. We are everywhere. It's fairly simple. And stay safe, stay connected. And if you have any questions, you can always connect with our DevRel team. We are here to support you while you're building on Flare. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.